if I can briefly talk about myself, if you like.
Sure.
I'm a saxophone player. I I was 22 years member of the German Armed Forces military big band, and so I
Oh,
finished.
wow.
Yeah, I finished in 2018. This band is a really good band. It's like the Airmen of Note from the American Air Force or U.S. Forces, the former Glenn Miller Orchestra, and so I'm really a big fan of America, of the American jazz music, and that's my background. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I met on those trips with the band. I met a lot of politicians. I met a lot of military people. We have been traveling around the world to the embassies. I was playing in the the German embassy in Washington. I was also playing in the German embassy in Moscow in 2016, where I didn't want to go. But I had to, so I was there. That was quite interesting too. And another thing of my background, I'm married to a Ukrainian woman, and she
Okay.
is, yeah, I'm also since 22 years we are married, and so I know really a lot about Ukraine, and I've been there many times already, and so I was already since 2014 completely shocked, but I know the history since 2004, the Orange Revolution, and that's so great, Jake. Everything what you tell on your channel, I can prove and say, yes, that's 100% true. And that's another thing I want to ask you. Why do you know so much about Ukraine? And yeah, I mean, you know so much
Has the
about.
interview started, Christoph? Like,
No,
are we going?
no. I think not. Better not.
Do you want to save this question for the interview?
Let's put this one in the interview because I want to know for our German audience also, why are you supporting Ukraine so much? So where do you get all those information? Why do you know all so much about Ukraine? In 3 years, you got from 0 to 150% expert. This is crazy. This is really good.
Going back to February of 2022, I didn't know much about Ukraine.
Yeah.
I knew that it was a former, it used to be part of the Soviet Union, and I knew the capital city was Kiev. And once the full-scale invasion happened, I'm much more knowledgeable about Russia, given my background in the Air
Wow.
Force.
Okay.
I was in the nuclear forces, and the only other country in the world that can completely destroy the United States with nukes is Russia.
Yeah.
So I was very concerned about what Vladimir Putin was doing. I personally didn't think the invasion would happen because I said this in my videos at the time. I said this would
But,
be
but
incredibly stupid.
but let's keep this one for the interview, I guess, because
Sure.
otherwise you have to tell it two times. Sorry for boring
Yeah.
you, and also sorry for interrupting you. I think.
But I just started walking down this path, and I don't think. I mean, at this point, I'm committed. I've been doing this for 4 years. If you're talking about something for 4 years, you should really learn as much as you can. So I've read a lot of books. I've
Okay.
read Gary Kasparov's book, and I've
Yeah.
read, they're all on my shelf back here. But
Cool.
anytime there's a new book about anything related to the war with Russia and Ukraine,
Yeah.
I read, and I want to learn as much as possible.
Yeah, fantastic. Same do I. But other than you, I started late with those interviews, but I love it. And I also what I love I wanted to tell you also, I love your content, how you produce the videos, and I know also how much work this is, and I know from Jonathan that you work 8 hours a day on it, and that's a real job.
I work 7 days a week. I do research in the evenings the day before I film. So I'm doing 4 or 5 hours of research the night before. I then have to go to bed and hope nothing crazy happens that will disrupt my video. I then wake up, I film, I edit, I upload the thumbnails, the description. I then do the premiere. And then once the premiere is done, I make clips and I go on all my social media platforms and I blast everything everywhere and I monitor the comments. Like I mean, I'm 9 to 5 basically on the filming days, and then 5 hours in the evening the day before, and I do this. I'm doing work every day.
Yeah.
So but it doesn't feel like work in that it's a mission, and
Yes.
I'm doing what I want to be doing.
Great.
I think this is a worthy cause, and I'm not going to ever complain about how hard I work, given that I have a comfortable, warm bed that I get to sleep in at night. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I see what the people of Ukraine are going through and what the soldiers in the front lines are going through. And I just think to myself every time, this is the least I could be doing. So,
Yeah, absolutely. You have, this is really very rare. You have such a lot of compassion for those people in Ukraine. Probably also maybe in other countries. I feel that when you hear maybe also so often there is war. Yeah, I cannot take care of every war. Me myself, I also wanted to take care of Russia against Ukraine, but of course there are other wars, and we cannot cover everything. But how is it about you there? Do you think you have to cover more wars? No.
I don't have the capacity. Like, I have committed myself to being a full-time commentator on the war in Ukraine. There
Yeah.
are other issues in the world I would love to make videos about, talk about lots of issues, stuff happening in my country that I think I should be making videos and talking about. But I made a commitment, and if I dedicated time to talking about other things, then that's coverage and stories. There's no shortage of stuff to talk about what's happening in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I do think there's a deficit. I think corporate news, traditional media, and even on social media, people just after 4 years have kind of tuned it out. It's another school being bombed by the Russians. It's another hospital being bombed by the Russians. It's another church destroyed by the Russians. And people aren't covering it. They're not retweeting. They're not making videos. But I'm going to keep doing it until Russia is defeated, because somebody has to, and I guess it's me.
It's you. It's also me. It should be many people who should cover this, because it's it's not only a war with rockets and with missiles and drones, and but it's also a war of lies, and it is a war of deception. It is a war of misinformation. I told in the beginning that I'm a fan of the United States, but nowadays under Trump, I'm not a fan of the United States in the moment. And I also know that you aren't, because this everything is going so crazy. It's going down the slope. Jake, our talk now is already getting so interesting that I have the thoughts that I would like to publish things. Maybe I can edit and skip things away.
Why don't we just start the interview and we'll just have a conversation?
I would like to. Yeah, okay. Let's do it like that. Hello, everybody. Today I am absolutely delighted to speak to a legendary and incredible supporter of Ukraine.